Happy Thursday and happy Facebook Live time. I am Melissa Kerman with Melissa's Crafting Treehouse, and I'm here for my weekly Facebook Live. Treehouse TV, I like to call it. So I have a project for you, very fun project for you today. It's a fun fold that is sort of an adaptation of an easel card. I'm going to call it a corner easel card. Don't know what the official name is, but that's what I'm calling it. And a few quick announcements, and here we go. Say hello if you're joining in. Oh, hi Megan, yay, I see Dean's here as well. Welcome, thank you guys for joining in. So the project today, like I said, is a corner easel fold card, and just a few announcements, which I'm gonna launch right into. And I see we've got two people, let's see, MJ and Nancy. Yay. Oh, you're still an angel fire. Yes, of course. Is it beautiful there? I hope there's no fires there. All right. Well, I'm just going to launch right in with announcements. So not a lot of big news today. I just want to recap the offers that I'm doing this month in the way of freebies and giveaways when you order. So when you spend $50 normally with me, you get free card kits, 3 free card kits. This month, if you have already gotten the July, August card kits, which are the current ones that I'm giving away, instead of getting kits, you'll get some elegant faceted gems. So that's a little bit different from what I usually do. And if you've spent $150 and you've already gotten my July, August kits, you'll get a pack of the in-color markers, the new colors, 2020, 2022 colors. So that's a little bit different from what I usually do. And if you prefer to have, something different, you just let me know, because I aim to please. Hi Gail, hey Sharon. I see a few people adding, coming on and joining in. I think there were some other names, but I missed them. So there's that. And then I'm also, for newsletter subscribers, giving away an extra little gift. I've got a stash of retired embellishments that I am giving away. My goal is to give them all away. So I've dug into them, and I've given a lot away so far, but they're still available. And so when you place an order online, for each $50 in merchandise you spend up to $150, you get 1 retired embellishment per $50 spent. And in some cases, if it's like a small partial pack or something, I'll throw in 2. So I just want to, get these retired embellishments off to good homes so they're getting used. So that's really it for the announcements. So I'm going to launch right in with the project demonstration. I'm using, this is a fall theme card, so I'm using the Beautiful Autumn stamp set. And what are these called? I said it in my announcement, the Wreath Builder dies, which are in the annual catalog. So I'm going to go ahead and show those. I don't even have them on a magnet card yet. But they're just super pretty, and I am just a sucker for wreaths. I love wreaths. So I'm going to go ahead and face the camera down and get started. Hi, Denise. Just catching a few names in here and there. Hi, Christy. Yay. Okay, now I see this little notification on here. I can bring people on camera. That means I guess I can add people into the live. That would be kind of fun. I think I'm going to have to research that and find out how that all works. Would you want your face to be in my Facebook Live with me? It would be so fun to have some other faces besides mine. Leave a comment and let me know. All right, so here we have in front of us the Beautiful Autumn set, as you can see. Now you can buy it as a bundle and get these 3 punches as well. If you can see those 2 well, they're lovely, cute little shapes, an acorn and maple leaf and an oak leaf. We're not going to be using those today. And so that you can get as a bundle. You save 10% when you buy items as a bundle. We're also going to be using the Everyday Label Punch. And I've got my little Post-it note on there because I'm vowing to put an actual label on each one, but I haven't gotten around to doing it on that one. And it's hard to remember the names of all these punches. All right, and then again, there's my Wreath Builder punch, my Wreath Builder dies, and then I'm also using the Layering Circles dies. So I'm going to be using this biggest simple circle. All right, let's get all this stuff out of the way and get started. Now this project today is a bit of a technical project. It's not inky like last week. We're kind of doing completely different kind of project today. So it's got some scoring, and because it's a 3D project. So we're going to start with a piece of early espresso cardstock that is 8 by 8. And I've got my scoring tool on my take your pick tool, and I'm just going to score it at 4 inches, rotate it 90 degrees, and another 4 inches. Now I've got a couple other score lines to do, and I'm using this plate that's actually retired. It's a diagonal scoring plate. Now I'm going to just try this and see if it's going to line up the way I want it to, because you don't necessarily have to have this scoring plate in order to do it. You could just do a simple fold, but I'm going to see if it'll line up just right. So what I want is a score line that's on the diagonal from this point to this point. So let's see if it lines up the way I need it to. It looks like it's going to do it. Yay! I love that. Perfect. Now I'm wishing we still had this in the catalog. Now, just as a point of information, I could also just take this end point and fold it in. So if you don't have this diagonal scoring plate, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it, just know that you've got this other completely reasonable option. So put the point right in the center. Hi Sue, hi Fran. I happen to look at the camera as you've joined in. Yay. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder to burnish that edge. And it's pretty much exactly the same as if I used my scoring tool. So you've got different choices for how you get to the end result. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold this on all the score lines. And I'm actually going to fold them back on themselves too, because in one case it folds both ways in order to get this card working. All right, so my question to you, I think I have to show you the end result card. Usually I like to keep it a surprise, but this is an unusual one. So it's going to be like this in the end. This is the front of the card. And are you guys ready to see how this works? I just have to show you for the heck of it. Now this is the kind of card you want to really give to somebody in person, because somebody gave this to me, and when I opened it I was like, what? How does this work? So it goes like this. Let's see if I can even do it right. And then folds open like that. And then it's got a little kickstand. So that's where the easel comes in. What do you guys think of that? So that's what we're making today. That's what this card base is going to give us. So pretty cool, huh? And there's where my wreath is. Okay, so let's just fold this back up again. So it folds back on itself and in, and there's my front again. Kind of bends my brain just to open and close it. What do you guys think of that? Comment, let me know. Let me know what you think. That's where we're headed. All right. So I'm going to start with taking a couple pieces of Designer Series paper piece. Now this measures 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Yay. I see some good comments. Oh, wow, I like it. Excited to be here tonight. Hi, Teresa. Good to have you here. So this is the Gilded Autumn designer paper. You can see it's got the metallic elements in it. We are using some of the metallics today. Now I have cut it down the middle. So I just used my paper cutter. And I'm going to need that in a second as well. And just put my piece of designer paper on the diagonal, lined it up so that the points went point to point, and then just sliced it. So super straightforward there. Precision is good if you can get it precise, but it's pretty easy to do. So I've got adhesive on the back sides of these. I'm just going to attach them in my corners. And then I've got one more cut to do on this. And yeah, I got that right side up. Okay, So now all I need to do is I need to cut this one spot, and this worked really easily when I made my first one. So I'm just going to line up the score line so it's even with the groove, and make sure I got the right blade. So this top one is the blade, and I'm just going to start. I say measure twice, cut once. Checking my example, and then I'm just going to cut from that middle point down, just like that. Now I've got my base all set up and ready to go. All right, now what I'm going to do next is, now you might not be able to tell from this, but it is, if I had just, well, there's a magnet. There's magnets hidden in between the layers here and underneath the foil here on the right. So I have to find where the magnets are going to go first. I'll leave that there so you guys can kind of see it while I do it. So I've got these extra strong, super thin little magnets. You can see there's actually, let's see if I can get the camera light on here, 2 magnets. And they are a positive and a negative so that they hold together. So what I'm going to start with is putting one of these magnets. It has to marry like this, so let's see. Get myself situated here. I'm going to grab a glue dot. And I'm going to put it sort of, I want it to be, let's see. Get myself situated here in my brain. So it's going to be like this, just like that. So I want one of them to be here. So I'm going to attach the bottom one. I don't want it too close to the edge of where the paper is going to be, because I don't want it to stick up where it will be obvious. Okay, so now I'm going to take this top one off. I've got a piece of very vanilla cardstock that is got adhesive on the back already, and I'm just going to cover that up. You can see there's a little bump there, but no one would ever know really. And then I'm going to take that magnet that's supposed to, and put it right where it's supposed to be on top, and then I'm going to grab my piece of brushed metallic foil. Now, in the brushed metallic foil pack, there are 3 different colors. This is sort of a, what I call a white gold. So it's sort of a, but it's brushed. You see it has a little texture to it, which is really lovely. So I'm going to put that. Okay. I actually have to go, okay, remind myself what I'm doing here. This is, like I said, makes my brain hurt a little bit. Okay. I need to have it on here, and when I close it, it needs to be on top of that layer. Okay, so you see how it just kind of pulled itself into place because it knows where that other magnet is underneath. So now I know it's in exactly the right spot. So I'm going to keep it folded. Lighting is really bad. Let's see if you guys can, I can get the light in there better. Oh, there's probably a little bit better. And then I'm going to take my brushed metallic foil, my brushed metallic cardstock, and place it over the top, anchoring that magnet exactly where it needs to be when the card is standing open like this. Now, I'm going to use this to press on here just because I don't want to get my fingerprints onto that beautiful foil cardstock. And it can be sort of a somewhat delicate surface, so you can sort of see the bump in there, but that's going to get covered up. So now we are set with some of the most important pieces. Now, how does this mechanism work? So I've taken my, I can only find it, I buried it, there it is. My largest die cut circle, and I've cut 3 early espresso circles, but 2 of them I did in a special way. So what I did was I took a piece of cardstock, folded it in half, took my die and did it so that it went off the edge where the fold was. So like that. So what I end up with is this piece right here that has a hinge to it. So that is the essential and important piece for creating my easel. So I'm going to start with this by folding back one of the circle pieces, one of the sides, back onto the shape of the second side of the circle. And you can do this with different dies if you want. You could do other shapes besides circles and create this same mechanism. Something smaller if you have something smaller that's going to sit on top of it. And now this third circle is going to sit right here and be the mechanism that opens and closes. So let's go ahead and attach this piece. And I'm going to just use some white liquid glue. How's everybody doing out there? Check out the comments here. Hi Eunice, hi Jennifer, welcome. Okay, so just going to press that on. So there we go, my basic mechanism. Okay, now I've cut some wreath pieces, and I've got one that's in the actual gold brushed foil. So this one is the white gold, as I like to call it. This is the gold. And then there's a third one, which is sort of a brownish copper. Let's see, I had one sitting around. I actually die cut one of these brownish copper from one of the other dies in the set, so I wanted to show you that just because it's, you can see a little bit of it, but I also wanted to show the shape of that other beautiful die in the Wreath Builder dies. So there's a little taste of that. So I've got one in the gold, and you can see it's got dry embossing elements in it in addition to being cut out. And then I've cut out another one in mint macaron. Now I showed this trick last week, and what I have done with my wreath, just to make this a little bit easier and less messy, is I took some of my white glue, my multi-purpose liquid glue, and just ever so carefully dabbed it onto my surface. I went all around the inner circle and then a little bit on the leaves, and I let it dry. Now I did this at about, I don't know, maybe it was 4:30 this afternoon, so it's been sitting since then, and it's plenty sticky, but then I don't have to mess with the stickiness getting on my fingers as I'm demonstrating. So it's a really cool little trick, and even if you aren't demonstrating to anybody and you just don't want to worry about it getting the glue on yourself when you pick it up, it's a nice option. So now I'm just going to attach my mint macaron wreath to my mechanism, and I'm just doing it on flat. Now on my first one, I actually took my bone folder and I sort of curled up some of the edges. And you have to be really careful when you're doing this because you've got these very delicate elements where it's not attached by anything real thick. But if you want, you just make sure to hold on to the part that's the most delicate. You use your finger and curl them out. And that way your wreath leaves will have more of a realistic look and some dimension. And then if you wanted to, you could also sponge the edges with the same color of ink. I don't know if you can see that there. I got just a little bit of dimension on those leaves. I see you guys enjoyed seeing the end result to begin with. I see, it sounds like, from your comment, Sharon. All right, so there's my starting place. Now, excuse Excuse me, guys. So for on my gold wreath, I have actually put dimensionals on the back side. Now I used my black dimensional since it was going to be on a dark color, and I cut them in half. Some of them are a little smaller than half. Attached them on there, took all the backings off so you didn't have to sit and watch me do that. And then I can just very easily place it on top of my other wreath. Now I want my leaves to be kind of staggered so that I'm kind of filling it in and making my wreath look nice and full. And an easy way to do this is to use the inner leaves to be your guide, because they're a pretty good indication of what the outer leaves are also going to look like as far as filling them in. So there's my wreath. And now you can also curl up the edges of the metallic cardstock as well. Just gives it a little bit more dimension again. And you can even just do it gently with your fingers. The foil actually can be a little bit delicate if you do this, so just know that you can sort of end up getting a slight little crease in the foil, but that might just make it look more natural, so it's all good. So this you have a little bit more control as far as worrying about ripping it. Okay, so there's my little mechanism there. Now I'm going to put this into the middle of the card. Now I want it to be justified slightly back, because what I'm going to be doing is making a bit of a kickstand for the front so that the wreath will stand up. So I'm going to use my white glue again all over the back side. Now a fellow demonstrator friend of mine gave me a card that was done in this way, and I was so fascinated. I've actually had it since I think last September, and she was just so sweet. She just came up to me at this demonstrator event I went to, and she's like, "Here, I want you to have one of these." And I was sort of befuddled because opening it was a bit of a challenge. I had no idea what it was supposed to do, but because of the magnets, it kind of fell right into place, which was pretty cool. So I have wanted to make this card layout ever since then. Alrighty, so did I do that right? Or do I have it backwards? Oh my God, I did it backwards. Whoops. Oh, the joys of paper crafting and white glue, which doesn't stick right away. Okay, so word to the wise. You want the hinge to be in the back. I'm glad I didn't let that sit there for too long, because that wouldn't have been able to be picked up. Okay, there we go. Now I got it facing the right way. Don't want the wreath facing into the inside of the card, right? Silly me. All right, a few finishing touches, then we got to do the front, and we're good to go. Okay, so I have heat embossed one of the sentiments from this stamp set. I'll show you. I love the sentiments in this set. So we're using Have a Beautiful Day on the inside, and then I'm going to be using My Heart is Grateful for You on the front. I wanted to use Life is Better with You, but it just didn't quite work with the layout. But I love all the sentiments in this. So I have a strip of dimensional, sort of the edge of a dimensional pack on the back side, so it's a full coverage. And then I'm going to place this strategically so that it holds my wreath as upright as I want it to be. So I could do it, low down, or I can push it way back. Just depends on how upright you want it to be. So I'm going to actually push this one further back than I did the first one, and I'll show you the difference. Because in the first one, it's a little bit sort of laying flat, and I almost want to go back and fix it. So there is my wreath kind of standing up. I still have one little finishing touch on that, but you can see on this one, it's a little bit kind of laid back. This one's kind of, maybe the angle is hard to tell, but this one is a little bit more upright. This one is a little bit more laid back. It's the relaxed wreath. I know, silly joke, right? But you can see I have this bow on here. I've used some of the gold edge ribbon, this lovely ribbon. We have it in white with a silver edge as well. I just love it. And I just created a bit of an air bow, and I wanted it to be really small. So I just make my little loops, tie it up, and then I fiddle with the shape until I get it the way I want it. And then sometimes I put little pencils in the ears to help shape the ears. So that's basically what I did. I have one all finished and ready to go right here. And I think I might wait until the end to do it. I'm going to attach a bit of white, I'm going to attach it with a bit of white glue. So it probably needs to lay flat when I do that. So I think I'll leave that to be my last step. So I'm going to open this up, finish off the inside. I have a strip of designer series paper to put on the inside. And this little strip of paper was not even cut for this purpose. It was just a scrap, and I thought, perfect. I love it. All right, so now the way this folds up, folds back, like that, like that. Is that right? Gotta make sure I got my, like I said, this card kind of does a mental trick here. Okay, so, challenging. Okay, folds back, all right? This one goes back, and that one goes back. I think I need to burnish my ends a little bit more. Okay, so that should be my front. So the front is pretty darn straightforward. Now on this one, the one on the left, I used the stripes, which I really love, but the back side is the metallics. So I'm going to use the metallics on this second one, and you can let me know which one you prefer. The metallics, of course, are more consistent with the inside, and it's also really gorgeous paper. So just got to show them both off. Now for this, I ended up using an espresso circle. This one has a stitched circle. This one is plain. I actually am literally out of early espresso cardstock. I have more coming in the mail tomorrow. So I didn't even have a scrap that was big enough to cut another circle. I guess I like early espresso. How about you guys? You like early espresso? So there's where I used the punch. This is stamped with early espresso ink. My heart is grateful for you. I love that sentiment. It's the best, right? So which one do you like? Now I kind of like the stitched edge a little bit better, but from the standpoint of the papers, which front do you like better? Just curious. Comment and let me know. Now I got to finish off my inside with my bow. So there's how it opens up. And I have that up on a stand, but I'm going to put it flat for now because what I want to do is take a little dab of my multi-purpose liquid glue, find where I want it, and then I'm going to take a acrylic block, something heavy, and place it on top to help it to stick. Now I could have used a glue dot, but for this I think the liquid glue in the end will hold it a little bit more securely for the long haul. So guess what I'm going to do? My punch, nice and heavy. I can just put that right on there. Okay, so somebody likes, Fran, you like the metallic, and MJ, you like the striped. Oh, I always love to know your opinions. I am a sucker for variety, so I had to do one of both. I will have photographs of both on my website on a blog post that will be done on Saturday. That's the schedule I'm going with these days. And I'll have dimensions and all that good stuff. And if you need reminders, if you want to put one together of these cards, you can go to my blog and get those dimensions. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around and say a quick, finish up with a few quick things, and then we'll let you go on with your evening. Alrighty. My good angle? Guess so. Pretty good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that project. Oh, I see. Dean votes for the metallic. Okay. Second one you like the best, metallic. Okay, we're going with the metallics. Pretty cool. Anyway, just had so much fun making this project. I did want to just talk about what I did last week, which was kind of, what am I calling it? Building blocks of a design process. So I wanted to take you through that. People seemed to find it helpful last time, so I thought I would go ahead and do it again. So anyway, pretty straightforward. This one was relatively easy only because I knew what the fold was. I knew the layout and everything, and I knew I wanted it to be fall theme. So that was my starting point. Decided I was going to use the Gilded Autumn designer paper, which helped with my color scheme. And then, of course, picking the focal piece. That wreath just seemed so straightforward for me. So designing how I wanted to do the wreath was my next step, and what colors I was going to do that in. And the Early Espresso cardstock is really the most versatile with that designer paper, the Gilded Autumn, and I've done other projects with it that go really well together. So that was a pretty obvious choice. And then, of course, last but not least is just the embellishments. I used the ribbon, and that was it for my embellishments, I guess. So it was pretty easy design process. Of course, I toiled over it a little bit because that's what I always do. But starting with the layout, I think, is one of the easiest ways to design. If you ever have difficulty, go find a sketch challenge or something like that, and then you can pick a focal piece that fits the size, and just kind of go with it. So that's my building blocks for a design process today. I hope you find that to be helpful. And a lot of times getting started is the hardest part. So just get started. Pick a place to start. That's the most important thing. Yay, somebody gave me hearts. Thank you, somebody. I'm glad you liked the fun fold, Jolene. Good to see you here. It's been a while since I've seen you here. All right. So just as a reminder, of course, newsletter subscribers get that extra special perk, the retired embellishments from me with your orders in September or while supplies last. So let me know if you have any questions about that. And let's see what else. And the details, let's see, are the details somewhere on my website? I think they're just in my newsletter. So you have to be a newsletter subscriber to know the details. Just let me know if you have questions. So that's pretty much it for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the project, and will join me again next week. Same time, same channel. I think, what's the date? Next week is September 24th. I can't believe we're so far into September. Unbelievable. So happy fall, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next week. Bye.